Welcome. How to calculate percent composition of a chemical formula. First, you will need to remember how to calculate molar mass. So remember, to calculate molar mass, we list the atoms in the formula, how many of each atom, periodic table number, aka molar mass, multiply across, sum. This is what we call the overall, or the molar mass. To get percent composition, remember what a percent is. A percent is part over whole. So you'll take each of these two parts, for example, and divide by the whole. So I took the 22.99 divided by 58.44, I get that. Then I'm going to multiply that times 100. And then do the same thing for the next part. Another part over whole, 35.45 divided by 58.44, the whole, times 100. And then I get my percentage. These should add up to be close to 100. So somewhere near 99.99 or 100.00 something, 01, 03, something like that. So it should be very, very close to 100 when you do that. That's your self-check. Another example would be this example here. Again, I listed how many I had of each. I have periodic table numbers here, so I got parts, and there's my whole. I'm going to take part over whole times, get an answer times 100. Again, part over whole times 100, get an answer times 100. That's how I get those percentages up nearly 100. A little bit more, another example here. Again, I didn't figure out my molar mass. I'm going to take part over whole. So here's my first part over whole times 100, part over whole times 100, part over whole times 100, and you get the idea. Again, your percentages should add up to be 100%. Final example, just a little bit more complex chemical formula. Not that that changes this. Again, I did part over whole, so here I have my four parts, my TC, C, H, and O parts, and my whole is here 1408.98. I'm going to do part over whole times 100, part over whole times 100, part over whole times 100, part over whole times 100. Keep in mind that I could simply ask you, or a question could simply ask you, what is the percentage of oxygen present, for instance, and you would just have to do the molar mass, right, and just the part over whole. Let me show you what I mean. So for example, I could simply ask you, what is the percent of oxygen in TC2 parentheses C4 H4O6 parentheses 7? So then if you were just asked about a single percentage of a single atom, you could then still have to calculate, of course, the molar mass because you need the whole, and then you can just figure out the part and take that part, so oxygen's part over the whole, and then you report the 4769. Similarly, in example 6 here, if I asked what is the percent of hydrogen in TA parentheses OH parentheses 5, you would not need to necessarily do all these other calculations. You would just figure out the molar mass and know what your part is of hydrogen, divide by your whole, so part over whole, times 100. Let me know if you have any questions.